Today is definitely a historic day because India every minute is shattering record of the vaccination drive. And this time today, the numbers are changing every minute. We have already crossed 2 crore vaccinations that have been administered so far. India, remember, right now, as we are tracking our data, is clocking over 42,000 jabs per minute. That means actually 700 shots per second. This is big. Remember, this is India managing every right now minute. The numbers that are changing. We stand. Let's take a look at the data that has come in. We're looking at 2 crore 15 lakh 91,000. And as I'm speaking, the numbers are changing. This has gone up to now 2 crore 15 lakh 95,747, now going across to 97. This is absolutely momentous occasion. Every second, the numbers are changing. It also, from the data we are receiving, 40,000 jabs per minute, at least over 700 shots per second across the country. These are the details that are coming in. India, remember, managing this vaccination drive on the 71st birthday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We'll try and get you the ground status as well, not just what is the data being reflected on the COVID application, but what is the status on the ground. Just to give you a background before I go across to my reporters, vaccination today, 2 crore 16 lakh 17,000 18,000, 19,793. Every second, the numbers there are changing. Let's go across now to our colleagues there on the ground as well. Milan Sharma in Delhi, Nagarjun Dwarkanath in Karnataka. First to you, Milan. What is on the ground? What are you looking? Are there actually people enough in numbers from what is being reflected on the COVID application?
Well, Pooja, in Delhi, where I am right now, the vaccination centers are out of doses. That's what I can say. In any vaccine center in Delhi today, not a single dose was wasted. Every dose of vaccine that came to a vaccination center in Delhi was used up with people taking vaccinations. In fact, I was just talking to a few people. One of the people actually told me that they decided to take the shot today because also it was Prime Minister's birthday. Another one actually told me that this is the least that citizens of India can do on this momentous day. And that is exactly what they have helped achieve. Record vaccinations in a country, and that will help us protect ourselves against the third impending wave that could come forward. And therefore, this record vaccination is something that we could look forward to as the numbers are increasing. Even as you and I are talking, we're looking at more than 2.15 lakh now. Vaccination
2 crore 16 lakh, Milan, as we are speaking, before I can even finish reading the data on the application, the number is changing. Milan, stay on with me, because before I go across to Nagarjun Dwarkanath, 2 crore 16 lakh 71,718. Remember, this is, we are going to get you state-wise state data as well. But this is clearly Team India getting together, putting all the infrastructure in one place, ensuring that people who've not yet got jabs do get it. And this is the vaccination data, over 2 crore, touching 16 lakh. It's only going to go beyond now. Nagarjun Dwarkanath in Bengaluru. Nagarjun, but tell us this. On ground, do you see enough people reaching to the vaccination centers? And is this all very well organized, is what you see on the ground today?
Well, that's true, Pooja. In fact, history being made here in India, and Karnataka is a large part of it. At least 10% of this 2 crore 16 lakhs has come from Karnataka. Karnataka has crossed 2 million doses today, already 20 lakh odd doses. I'm coming to you from a center where it's a 24/7 vaccination center. So this means that anyone can walk into this vaccination center at midnight, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., anytime they can walk in, and you can already see people still here at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. today that we are speaking about. And this continues all through the night as well. And they also have something called the pink booth, only for pregnant women and lactating women, and so that the women don't stand in the regular queue. This was inaugurated today on Modi's birthday. And look at this. This was all decorated, decked up. And not just this environment of vaccination center is completely changed. They have Bollywood music going on here to change the mood. They have photo booths. Let me also show you the photo booths here so that they cheer up the mood of the people who come here. This is one such photo booth and the other one is there. So BBMP has arranged everything so that the vaccination mega drive that is happening here in Karnataka goes on smoothly, and people also are responding. Karnataka has stood today second after Bihar, that almost 20 lakh vaccinations have been done. 10% of whatever has happened today across India, the credit has to go to Bihar and Karnataka because both together have clocked over 4 million doses today
Nagarjun,
alone.
what a
and
fabulous,
being made by two states.
heartening visual that you've got to us. 2,17,34,000 is the number, only increasing. But what Nagarjun has brought to us looks like a festive celebration, and why should it not be? A 24/7 vaccination center. You can go there at any time. For pregnant, lactating women, if they require, there's a separate center. All of this is adding to the numbers that you're seeing, because if people are given that time, facility, margin, and of course the encouragement to go get jabbed, why would they not opt for this specific vaccination, which is only saving lives, hopefully, for future? But let's not just look at the complete data. I want to take you state by state. What is happening across Mission Vaccination India? Let's take a look at state by state data as well. Bihar there. Bihar is about 21,10,604, followed by, let's take a look, Karnataka. Karnataka is reporting at about 20,75,820, followed by Uttar Pradesh, the state heading for elections. What is the number there? 18,30,405 in Uttar Pradesh. We move on to Madhya Pradesh, which is 17,99,159. Let's take a look at Gujarat, the home state of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, 15,17,271. But of course, you must know these numbers are only going to change, get updated. The data we have right now at about 5:15 p.m. from the CoWIN application. What did you notice here? All of them BJP ruled or in alliance with the Bharatiya Janata Party. So, of course, the BJP poll level booths workers getting together. But while that is the India within states situation, let's now take a look globally. Remember, it's a COVID pandemic. This is what is being faced by people across the country. Vaccination drive is also on across the world. What is the global status here? The global status, as of now, the vaccination tracker, Oceania is at about 30 million. Let's take a look. Africa, a continent that reports 129 million. Then South America, 403 million. North America, 593 million. Europe, 777 million. All of them, Oceania, a group of islands. Africa, a continent. Europe as well. All of them, however, could not really match up to India, which is reporting 784 in its vaccination tracker. So that's currently, remember, the status where India is topping the charts as well. So, of course, for the government, specifically for the ministers, this is going to be a big moment. Reactions have already come in. Let's take a look at what have been the voices, the reactions that have come in on this specific historic moment of the vaccination drive in India.
Sir, congratulations. 2 करोड़ का आंकड़ा क्रॉस हो गया. क्या कहेंगे आप जनता को, क्या मैसेज देना चाहेंगे?
Thank you all health workers. Well done India.
सर, और कोई मैसेज देना चाहेंगे?
यही मैसेज.
I think it is commendable because the logistics is humongous. And the fact that they've done it tells you that we are capable of doing this enormous act of vaccination, where I don't think anywhere in the world they've been able to do this. And to do it in a country as diverse as ours with very difficult terrain on top of that, I think is amazing. So I really want to congratulate all those who are involved in the exercise. I think it's a very complex logistics exercise, but where there's a will, there is a way, and that's what we've shown.
So it is no mean accomplishment. It has proven that we have in this country the capability of vaccinating upwards of 2 crore people, which is very good. And it so happens that this whole enthusiasm came as a birthday greeting to our Prime Minister. But the only limiting factor over here is basically the supplies of vaccines. So if companies and more are coming online and promising larger and larger quantities of doses availability, then if that happens, that yes, we can repeat this regularly. And if we keep up the speed, we can actually vaccinate every eligible Indian by the end of November, early December. And if that happens, then we would have actually put a real dent in this pandemic.
We must also realize and remember that this cannot be only a celebration for one day and must continue. Now, according to the government sources we have accessed here at India Today, what is the centre's roadmap for the vaccination camp? This is very important. Take a look. Clearly, of course, India expects to administer over 2 crore jabs, and the numbers are increasing every single minute. 100 crore vaccinations in first week of the month of October. According to the government, they say that they are completely capable of supplying the jabs to states without any delay. Vaccines will be given to the state of Kerala and Karnataka on priority because, of course, the southernmost state of Kerala is reporting a high surge in COVID cases. 1 crore Zydus vaccination doses will be available by the end of this month, according to the claims in the government. Serum Institute will be supplying 20 crore Covishield doses. 20 crore Covishield doses this month. That's not all. For Covaxin, 3.25 crore doses are expected again in the month of September itself. Eventually, the election-bound states will, of course, be the key vaccination targets for the government. So, of course, while the vaccination drive remains a momentous occasion for the country as Team India, we must not forget what the COVID pandemic has brought on for the people who have suffered from coronavirus, recovered, but also from the lockdown and restrictions. On the India Today magazine, a special report that has been filed about health concerns that have emerged among the Indian community. Take a look at this special report. The second wave of COVID is long over, but its aftershocks still remain. Advocate Ritesh Sharma's whole family in Jaipur was diagnosed as COVID positive in May. Now, nearly 5 months later, they face new health concerns long after they tested negative. The primary reason? Lifestyle disruption forced by the COVID pandemic.
Pandemic is altogether has changed life. Every person on this planet's life has changed. Late nights is just one thing of it. If we talk about all the aspects through, to what has happened into life is it was a never again thing that has happened.
Sharma's children gained weight due to drastic changes in sleep routine and lack of physical activity.
Before the COVID pandemic, I was very active physically. I used to play a lot of sports, football, cricket, running and etc. But when the lockdown started, everything just stopped. I was just sitting at home all day. We could not go out.
Sharma's wife, Shipra, a Rajasthan Administrative Service officer, has been facing after effects of COVID such as fatigue, lethargy and anxiety. She is indulging in creative pursuits to stay calm.
I've become more aware of my health after getting affected by corona. It's not only about fitness, food, everything. Like I'm more or less stressed now. I try to live every moment of my life as fully as possible.
In Kolkata, Dipyaman Dutt is in his late 30s and was a regular fitness enthusiast till the lockdown was imposed. What followed was boredom and binge eating with food ordered from outside. As a result, he put on around 10 kilograms. Post-lockdown, the trend continued until he bought gymnasium equipment for home and started to run. He has now lost those 10 kgs through diet control after consulting a dietitian and working out.
During lockdown, I kept on eating and eating. Exercise was really less, although there was household work. But I put on 10-15 kgs that's the time I decided, like, I need to like pull up my socks, and I started running. So, and I lost around, say, 10-15 kilos by now. So I'm like back to what I was before.
Meanwhile, in the national capital Delhi, Sonia Rana has a similar concern.
It was really bad. मेरी तबीयत बहुत ज़्यादा खराब रहने लगी, बीपी मेरा बहुत बढ़ने लगा, वेट गेन की वजह से मुझे बहुत जल्दी थकावट होना, टायर्डनेस होना, ये प्रॉब्लम बहुत ज़्यादा होने लगी.
According to dietitians and nutritionists, there was a 550% rise in queries of obesity on e-health platform Practo this year. An analysis revealed 40% had gained weight, while 2,000 children between the age group of 3 and 15 years in a tertiary care hospital study had gained weight. So what is leading to this unholy fraternity? Increase in junk food intake, lowered physical mobility, increase in screen time, and also an increase in anxiety due to lockdown and lack of outdoor activities and interaction. If you are in a similar situation, doctors have a word of advice.
First and the foremost thing, visit a qualified dietitian or a registered dietitian in your area and understand what is right for you. Get a diet plan so that your nutritional requirements are met without compromising on any nutrient. Secondly, what you can do is start reading labels. So the packaged food that we buy from the market would have the calories and protein listed on it along with the serving size. So start reading labels to understand what is good and what is not.
Perhaps with the vaccination drive on across the country, the situation may evolve and people will return to their usual lifestyle. Till then, beware of the unseen after effect of the COVID, and that is obesity. With Devankur in Jaipur, Prema Rajaram in Kolkata, Milan Sharma in Delhi and Sonali Acharji, Pooja Shali for India Today TV. To get a perspective on this special report, I have the pleasure today to have on my show one of the most renowned health experts, Dr. Shikha Sharma. She's now also a founder of NutriWell India Health Private Limited. Thank you so much, Dr. Sharma, for joining me today. The report that we saw where people are suddenly feeling that they have increased anxiety, but physically that there is a weight gain that they never felt they could gain weight so easily and so quickly ever before the pandemic started. What advice do you suggest to people watching this show right now who are facing sudden health concerns?
See, fundamentally, I would say that there are three things which are very important. The first thing is that we have to start including those foods in our eating plan which are immune boosters. Now, fundamentally, the kind of immune boosters which exist are, for example, having more of amla or Indian gooseberry, having a lot of vegetable juices which have things like pumpkin, tomatoes, then ginger, carrot, apple, so vegetable juice, beetroot. So tomato, beetroot, pumpkin, these kind of vegetable juices also boost immunity through the gut. So they make the intestine healthy and boost immunity. For people who might have digestive issues, and normally we suggest that you should have more of Triphala, which is, according to the Indian Vedic system, it is something which balances the gut bacteria. It's not a laxative, it is a gut balancer or a rasayan. So that is one. And of course, fruits and salads have to be included. For people who are diabetic, grains like quinoa is better than rice or wheat or bread. Bread definitely should be avoided. It's a massive cause for blood sugar fluctuation. So more like quinoa or brown rice or whole grains, millets, all those are much better grains. Then one thing which is also very important is that we have to use more spices which are therapeutic spices. So like, of course, as Indians, we love spices, but therapeutic spices are like turmeric. And if you drink milk, have turmeric milk rather than plain milk. Similarly, have ginger in your routine, which is like you can have 1 teaspoon of ginger juice in your daily routine. Similarly, if you have black pepper, it makes our upper respiratory tract free of congestion. So those are very important things. The next thing I would say is that because of lockdown, people are not able to move out in the last few months. But even people today, because of it could be the weather or it could be traffic, they don't have access to gardens and other places. So start yoga at home. And in yoga, Surya Namaskar is one of the most comprehensive exercises which I can think of. It's just a set of 12 postures, and you do it every day, a number of rounds, a number of repetitions depending on your. So that is wonderful. And third, I would see stress management. A lot of people have been really badly stressed out. And I think for stress management, different people should use different techniques. Like some people use music as a stress management technique. Some people do chanting. Some people do breath exercises like pranayama or breath exercises. Some people do dancing. So I think stress management has to be taken as a structured initiative at home also, rather than just doing it when you're stressed, because the stresses are going to continue. So that is why it's important to include some of these stress management techniques in your daily life. I personally use chanting and pranayama as a way to manage my stress, and I think it really works because you don't need too much of space and you can do it anywhere. Even before sleeping, you can do a little bit of breath exercises, and that helps.
So that would be holistic wellness and good diet as well. But what kind of medical tests would you suggest to someone who is facing perhaps health concerns right now? Once they have consulted an expert, what kind of tests should we get done to be sure about the problems that we may be facing?
So I think if you look at your stress management, there are various assessments which can be done with any good counselor. They will assess you. They will see your coping mechanism. They will, simple things like how much are you sleeping? Are you getting good sleep? Are you feeling like dressing up? Are you feeling like good? So a lot of these assessment things done with a professional help them to gauge whether they are stressed out or not, or what is the level of stress they are going through. The second thing, of course, is a blood test. I think I would suggest everybody who is, of a certain age, more than say 35, should get a basic wellness profile done, so that at least you know how's your liver, how's your blood sugar, how's your cholesterol.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Shikha Sharma, for giving us your time as well. Always a pleasure and an honor, in fact, to be able to get a perspective from you.